Hey girls. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about accountability. I feel like it's a good place to start for this channel because this channel is going to be all about accountability. It's not going to be like this soft, safe space where we're never accountable for our actions and nothing's ever our fault and all of that stuff, because I really hate it, to be honest with you, because there seems to be, and I'll read you like a Reddit post a little later on, but I just wanted to talk first about this whole infantilization of women thing where women are just never responsible for anything that they do, and we're just like, woe is me. It's just like, oh, but it wasn't her fault, poor thing. Oh, but she didn't know. How could she have known? And all of that stuff. I'm not with it. This is also not a man loving men are never wrong channel. Everybody has their issues. Men are wrong sometimes, women are wrong sometimes, white people are wrong sometimes, black people are wrong sometimes. Like, I hate this thing of where just because someone is black they're never wrong, just because someone's white they're never wrong, and just because, like, you can support women while also holding them accountable. I know, crazy concept.
News flash.
You're in charge of your life. So that's where I wanted to start. You're in charge of your life. You're a grown woman. You are a person who has gotten this far because you've done something right, right? You're living your life and you're probably successful in your own right. You might not think it and you might not think that you've done enough, but you're at a place in your life where people love you, care for you, depend on you. And people know that if I need this thing, I can go to this person and I'll be able to get it. That's how successful you are. So don't take that lightly. And then also, you have potential to go even further than this because, again, you're a brilliant person and you're like a person who's able to make decisions and do things. Now, if you make positive decisions, you will get positive outcomes. If you make dumb decisions, you will have negative outcomes. You're going to learn from both. You might even learn a little more from the negative outcomes, but either way, you're learning. So, making mistakes isn't the enemy. Making mistakes is fine because there's stuff to be learned from making mistakes. But if you're not going to take accountability and you're never going to admit that you've made a mistake and you're not going to take that lesson with you and then make sure that you're not going to repeat it, well, then that's useless because now you've gone through all this trouble and you've gone through all these problems for nothing because you're not learning from them. Whereas if you go through something really, really hectic and deep, if you learn from it, then it's very useful to you because you're going to take it with you, you're going to use it in the future in order to make something of your life with those lessons that you learned, right? So it starts with accountability. So let's say, for example, you make a dumb decision and you drop out of high school. You don't finish, you drop out of high school for whatever reason, by choice, not because like it was like your parents died and you didn't have school fees. No, not because of that, like because whatever, you wanted to drop out. What that means for you is that you now have to work entry level jobs because you do not have an education that is sought after. And so you're going to have to work entry level jobs until you work your way up to management or until you go back to school and you finish and whatever. Now, whose fault is that? Yours. Does it have to define the rest of your life? No, because again, you can work yourself up to management positions and become very successful, or you can work while also going to school on the side until you are in a position where you want to be. Just because something has happened or just because a decision has been made, a dumb decision has been made, it doesn't mean that's the end. And I think that a lot of people sit in their shame and misery and they're like, oh, this is it. Like, I've made this decision and everything's bad. I can't come back from it. You can always come back from wherever you are. You just need to ask for help. And you also just need to use your internet, because I think that we spend so much time on our phones, on social media, doing things that are useless, that aren't getting us anywhere. Whereas every day you need to be spending at least 5 minutes towards the rest of your life. Like, when you come back from work, I know you're tired. I know, like, you just want to have a glass of wine and chill out. you can have your glass of wine, but also 10 minutes just working towards what's next, because you hate your job, you don't want to be doing this thing anymore, and so you want to be actively working for what's next. Are you going to become a content creator? Are you going to become a stay-at-home mom? Are you going to become a therapist? Whatever you're going to be, you need to start looking for short courses that are going to be free or really, really cheap, that you're going to be working towards this thing. So like every day you need to be researching what's your next step, right? And then you can potentially work yourself out of any dumb decision you may have made before, right? And then also, if you, like, for example, another dumb decision people do a lot or make a lot is having children with men that are known to be bad news. This person already has 3 kids with 3 different women. You're fourth in line, and you think somehow he's going to magically become a saint and he's going to look after your child. Like, he hasn't looked after any of the kids that he does have, but somehow he's going to look after yours. I don't know how that works. Those, I don't know, like, just the math, it's too risky. Like, if you had a risk management team, they'd be like, the odds, no, we're not going for this one. It's too risky. He's not going to do it. Like, he's not going to take care of this baby. So instead of damaging a potential baby, let's not sleep with this guy. If we don't sleep with people that are really, really dumb, are already deadbeats, we can avoid all that. We can avoid being fourth in line. So if you don't sleep with losers, you're not going to have kids with losers, right? Easy concept. So you can just, like, there's things that you can do to bypass those kind of things. Mistakes happen, obviously. Again, you can work yourself up from those mistakes, but like some mistakes are just so unnecessary and so costly that you can just avoid it, right? So don't sleep with losers, so you don't have loser kids with a loser, right? And if you already have, it's fine. We can work ourselves out of that situation. We can still become successful. We just have to be working towards our goals every day. And then the one thing about having children with losers is that it's bad news for your child, because for the rest of their life, your child is going to have a dad shaped hole in their heart. And no matter what they do, no matter how hard they work, no matter if they could become a billionaire, but they're still going to have that father shaped hole in their heart, because that's just something you can't replace. Even if they get a really good stepdad, that helps a lot and it's great, but like there's still that thing. So like it's something that you really just want to avoid. Like you want to make sure that everything you do, you're doing for your future children, especially like if you're wanting to have children. I think all your decisions need to be the best decisions for your kids or for your future kids. I think that's the most important thing us moms can do, like as parents. So important. And then, so I want to get to the Reddit story, right? So this girl is like, let me get it. Okay, so she goes, when we started our relationship, he already had a girlfriend, even though it was a long distance relationship. They had agreed to be monogamous and exclusive without any agreements of being together with other people. For 3 months, he was together with me while he still had his girlfriend. They Skyped several times a week and continued to declare their love for each other, at the time while having sex and being intimate with me. I didn't know he had a girlfriend when we first started. It was only revealed to me by him a few weeks in. It wasn't until 3 months, it wasn't until after 3 months when I gave him an ultimatum that he made a decision. It was either her or me. He decided to end things with his long distance girlfriend, and afterwards our relationship started for real. The thoughts that has troubled my mind have been, where was his bad conscience in all of this, and why was I the one that had to push him to take the necessary steps? Shouldn't he have had such a bad conscience that he broke up with her by himself without me pushing for it? Throughout our relationship, I have had difficulties with trusting him. I am afraid that he would do the same to me. I get anxious if he goes out because I get the idea that the reason he is out is to find someone else. I have never experienced the same trust issues in my previous relationships with other men. At the same time, I know that if there isn't mutual trust in a relationship, then you shouldn't have a relationship. But how do I get but how do I let go and trust another person when the start of the relationship has been empirical data that the person cannot be trusted? I am having trouble with letting go of the thought, if he could cheat on someone else, why wouldn't he do the same to me? A friend of mine said a while back in an unrelated discussion that you lose them the same way you get them. So if your relationship starts as an affair, it would end with an affair. But is it true that once a cheater, always a cheater? He thinks it's unfair that I hold him responsible for something he did in a relationship that isn't ours. If he has a conscience to cheat on someone else that he loved, would he then go through with it again? It should be mentioned that all my friends and family sees him as sweet and loyal, a mother-in-law's dream of a boyfriend for her daughter. When I look at him with an objective perspective, I do see that he isn't a pig. But how do I erase the memories I have of him, our past, and our starting point? If I had met him any other way, if I had met him another way, I wouldn't have any doubt that I would see him as the sweet and loyal man he really is. Well, he's not a sweet and loyal man, is he? Because he cheated on his girlfriend for 3 months with someone else. Granted, it was long distance, but that's not an excuse. He is not honest, he doesn't have integrity, and he doesn't have empathy. Because I think the one thing about cheating is a lack of empathy. If someone is able to do that to another person for an extended amount of time, it just shows that they have no empathy for that person. They're not thinking like, what if this person finds out? How will they feel? How will this affect them in the future? And how will it affect their ability to trust? That's what that person lacks. And he has like done it to 2 people. He's done it to his ex-girlfriend, if she ever found out, and now he's done it to you, because now you know intimately that people are capable of this behavior. And no wonder you can't trust. You're not sleeping at night, waking up in a cold sweat thinking he's out there cheating, is because he has exposed you to that kind of evil that exists in the world. And so now you're like, what if it's me next? Rightfully so, because you helped him do it. You were there and you saw him do it and you took part in it. And so, no, you can't trust him. You can't ever be able to say to yourself, he will never cheat on me. That's something you'll never be able to do. That's something that you took away from yourself through the decisions that you made. It's not one of those things that you can walk back. So I would walk away from the relationship and just try to move on. The thing is though, because you have like been in this position, now again you're exposed to the kind of evil that is out there. And so even if you meet another man organically and he's not cheating on his girlfriend, you're still going to be wondering, like, is he like my ex? Is he capable of the evil that is my ex? Like, like it's still going to be something that plagues your mind. And hopefully one day through prayer, you'll be able to move on from that, hopefully. But it's just like, it's terrible. I hate cheating because it's like, it's such a betrayal, because like relationships are so intimate, and so to go and to do that is like, it's wild. So yeah, I would walk away from the entire relationship, just call it and move on and see if, because now you're on Reddit asking strangers to tell you that unicorns exist, and nobody can do that for you, unfortunately. Nobody is going to be able to tell you that unicorns exist, because they just don't, right? The relationship started with lies and deceit, and it's pretty hard to come back from that no matter what. So good luck to you, Reddit poster. I hope it goes well. Another thing that I wanted to like talk about, which I think is like super important, is like taking responsibility for the good things we do as well. So I know some people have like take no accountability ever, and then some people take like too much accountability but for all the wrong things. So someone will do like a really great thing, like you'll graduate from school and like you'll get your degree, while also working 2 jobs or something crazy like that, right? But they'll be like, oh, whatever, it's something that I should have done, it's no big deal. So you need to be celebrating stuff like that. When you do something really, really amazing, you have to take a second and really celebrate that, because that's how your mind will know I'm doing something great. Like, you need to reward yourself when you do amazing things, right? You don't only take responsibility of only the bad things that you do, you can take responsibility of the good things that you do as well as the bad things that you do. That's how you find a good middle ground of like it's healthy, right? You understand that you're a person who's capable of good and also capable of bad. So you celebrate the good and you yell at yourself about the bad, but it also doesn't mean that like that's it, now you're a terrible person because you did bad things. But you just acknowledge that it's the bad decision that I made, it's fine, moving on, we're gonna get through this and we're gonna move on, we're gonna make something good out of it. Like you get lemons and you make lemonade, so to speak. So yeah, that's all I have to ramble about today, and I want to leave you with one of my favorite Bible verses, Proverbs 27 verse 17. Iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens the wits of another. So you need friends that are going to hold you accountable. You need friends that are going to say, hey, you're really messing up right now, being really dumb, don't do that anymore. And you need friends that are going to say, hey, friend, you're doing really amazing, sweetie, and I want you to carry on doing as well as you are. And if you're like straying, your friends can catch you, bring you back on track. If they see you starting to make really silly decisions, they can like call you out. Because if you're going to get mad at your friends for calling you out when you're doing silly things, then you are asking people to lie to you. You are not taking accountability, and you're asking people to lie, which isn't fair. So don't be defensive when your friends are telling you stuff. Like, if your friends are like, hey friend, I don't know about this guy, just take stock. Be like, I wonder why my friend who loves me would say something like that. Obviously, if it's your friend that's jealous of everything you do, get rid of them. That's not the person we're talking about. We're talking about your good friends that have a proven record of really caring about you. If they're telling you something that you don't want to hear at the time, pray about it and just like really take stock and be like, why am I refusing to hear this? What is it about this that's making me so mad and making me not want to listen to my friend? And when you have that decision, then you'll know what you're doing next. Because sometimes you're in a space where you're in this toxic relationship, you know it's toxic, but it's so much fun and you don't want to stop. And here comes your dumb friend, always speaking the truth and always telling you the things that you need to hear, even though you don't want to hear them, telling you the truth, and that makes you mad. But after that, you need to be able to come back and be like, you know what, friend, you were right. He is toxic, probably not the best person for me, and be honest. I think everything starts with honesty. You can't hold yourself accountable if you're not able to be honest with yourself and your friends and the people around you. So if you're honest, you'll take stock of your life and you'll be like, yeah, okay, my friend was right, wasn't the best decision. So yeah, Proverbs 27 verse 17, iron sharpens iron, one person's one person sharpens the wits of another. So when you're not seeing it because you're in it, your friend, if you choose good friends, will see it. And if your friend isn't able to see it because they're in it, you can see it. Like, we're looking out for each other and we're able to see things that the other person isn't able to see, because when you're in it, it's hard to see it. And that's why you need to surround yourself with really good people, with really smart people, people who are going somewhere, people who are doing things with their lives. Because if you're going to surround yourself with people that aren't doing anything with their lives, you're not going to go anywhere with your life, because they're just chilling. They're not pushing, they're not hustling, they're not trying to get anywhere, they're not making plans for the future. They just go to work, come back, do nothing, watch lots of TV, dumb down their minds, do nothing productive. So you wanna spend your time with people that want something but are also actively walking towards the thing that they want and are making plans for their futures, because those are the people that are gonna keep pushing you even on your hard days when things like are so hard. those are the people that are going to be like, come on, friend, we've got it, we can do it. Take a break for a few days, but then jump back on and like, let's go, let's do this, right? So yeah, choose your friends carefully, and send me comments if you like need me to pray with you, or you need advice, or you need like whatever from me. Message me. I think my email is on my profile somewhere, or comment or DM me, send me whatever. Just find me and like text me and say, hey, I need this, and I like need advice on this, or I need prayers for this, whatever. And then we can like become a community where we're helping each other and we're making each other better. That's really all I want for the women in my life, to like have a space where they can be like, hey, shit is really bad right now and I really need to talk about it. Okay, that's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you'll be back for the next episode. I'm so excited to finally be doing this. If there's any topics that you like want me to cover specifically, please let me know in the comments. Anything in particular that you want to talk about, please let me know. Also, because it's like new, there's so much room for improvement, and so we can change it up, keep it the same, whatever. You guys just let me know what you want and I will do it. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. Bye.